Welcome, friends, to a word of hope for the memorial of St. Juan Diego. Now, I think most of us know the story of Juan Diego on his way to Mass one day when, in December 1531, he encounters Mary, dressed as in native clothing, appearing as an Indian maiden with dark skin and speaking in his own language. I think we also remember that it took young Juan 3 approaches to the local bishop before the bishop finally believed him, that Mary wanted a great and grand church built on a hill which would be right outside of modern-day Mexico City. What convinced the bishop? Not just the out-of-season roses that Juan brought on that 3rd trip to the bishops, but it was that miraculously detailed imprint of Our Lady of Guadalupe, that famous image we see in churches across the country now, on the front of his tilma, or cape, when he opened it before the bishop. And you know what it all was? An answer to a prayer. Not Juan's, but the bishop's. You see, this was only about 10 years after the conquest of Mexico. And amid all the crime and the violence and the injustice to the indigenous people and the bishop's own seemingly, utterly failed efforts to turn the situation around, he got on his knees and he prayed and he prayed and he prayed. And God's answer came through Juan Diego as the instrument, through Mary's appearance. And the church in Mexico was utterly transformed. And its lasting effects are seen to this day in countries beyond Mexico. What is our word of hope? God answers persistent prayer. And we, like Juan Diego, may be the instrument of someone's answered prayer, if we're alert, if we're aware, if we're open to God using us, especially on the behalf of suffering others, those among us. And we know suffering loved ones, our own and others. The power of intercessory prayer cannot be underestimated. It transforms us, as well as those we are praying for. Not always in a way that we see right away, and not always through an instrument that we accept right away. And perhaps even like Juan, we may not even feel ourselves as the best or the most worthy of instruments. But faithful to our prayer and open to being God's agent and instrument in the world, God's miracles can and do happen through us. As we continue our Advent journey, let's be inspired by both the bishop and Juan Diego to pray confidently and persistently, and to be open to being the instrument God uses to answer someone's prayer. God bless your Advent.